Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to today's talk track. Oh, okay. And Morris, you're welcome to this talk track of today. And our topic today is going to be about finances and relationships. So we are going to see how do you start sharing your finance, like let's say your account or your money with the person that you are with. At what stage? Yeah. Or even at what stage do you think it's appropriate, or you feel comfortable to be sharing your finances with the person you are with, your boyfriend, your husband, or is it necessary in your opinion? Because we've grown up in a country where our mothers are like, kasente kanga kechikazi, like my money as a woman is mine. Someone has to provide. So I would love to know what the audience today thinks about finances and relationships in general. Like particularly if you're with someone. Is it healthy to share how much money you're making and then make plans together and buy things together? Yeah. So what do you think? Is it necessary to disclose your finances with a person you care about? And at what stage do you think it's comfortable for you?
Money.
We have like 3 CE, if not mistaken, we have like 4 CEOs. Ladies, I would love to hear from you. Everyone.
So, okay, This thing is funny, but it's also real talk. I think that's why most relationships, midway, there's challenges, there's problems, because we avoid these conversations, and then we just assume roles, along the way, and then when the time comes, okay, here's the thing. Early on in the relationship, I don't think it's necessary. If you feel like it's at the point where it is necessary, it means it's serious. It means you're seeing this person as let's assume, life partner or someone you can. I think it's more about you get to a point where you can trust a person enough to share this information. Because we've also learned in relationships, it can be a man or the woman, that if your finances, information on your finances are shared, sometimes people misuse that information. Yes? I can choose to take advantage of you, or you can choose to take advantage of me. I feel it's more about, am I confident enough or comfortable enough or trusting enough that if I tell you, it's going to be adults speaking. Not if I tell you how much I'm making or how many accounts I have, then you start to cry in a month. You're like, by the way, I have an issue. I don't know. Maybe first help me a bit. And this is what ruins relationships. I like that you say. My grandmother and my mother used to say, it's not that they didn't trust the men. They used to say, and the same advice they gave to the men, that if you're in a relationship with your partner, yes, and they know that but sometimes leave something. We can't, wholesales out there. If you have a joint account, good for you. If you have an account for work or an account that you all know about, good for you. But can you have that account that your partner is not aware of? Just in case.
Thank you, Rowena. What I hear you say is you don't disclose everything. Like, yeah. And then do you share that, the little you are able to share? Do you do it after you get married, or you can do it even before as you just boyfriend and girlfriend?
Even before. I will tell you, I'll be honest, if I'm sure about you, I'll tell you how much I'm earning. Yes? Yeah, but also don't expect that I'm going to tell you how much I have in the account every time. No. If you do, I think the shared account is when now you started a family. But chances are you may not know about a certain account. Yeah? But you know what I'm earning. You know that if anything happens, we can share expenses. I am not saying don't take care of your home, don't take care of me. Take care of the girl, man. We like to be pampered. It's okay. But as a family, for example, genuinely, he's going through something. Or he's not been able to. There's so much. Because you see, if you've decided to have a life together, it's a whole other story, yeah? He will do his part as the man, yes. But let's assume school fees is a hassle. The kids are both yours, no? Are you going to sit and watch those kids not go to school because the man doesn't have the money? And you watch them sit at home, have a dead term or a dead year because I'm waiting for the man to get the money. Those kids are both yours, yeah? In the home, unless he's a deadbeat, yeah, really, he never does anything. That's another story. But if you've chosen to be with someone and at a certain point, yeah, things are not quite well, you come in and do something. I would expect, because also we have now a generation of men, yeah? If he realizes you can do these things, then he sits. And when you need him, he says, ha. So it can be two-way. And that's what brings me back to, you trust each other enough to share, starting with one, how much you earn. And that's where we get problems, finances. When we don't talk about these things, a time comes when, let's say, okay, you've settled. And then what? Mm-hmm. I think if you're not sure of someone, don't share. It means don't end up with that person also because you don't trust them. However,
you need a secret account.
Especially for us, have the backup. Even men in this day and age, have that backup. Just one account will not kill you. The rest share.
Thank you, Rowena. We know where you're standing. Yes.
Yeah, well, I for one, I think I'll only disclose about my accounts with my girlfriend or the person that I'm with in a relationship when we're about to make things official. Reason being that I'll share with you a scenario. There's a time I had a girlfriend, but this is someone who had a rigid kind of mindset. She had the first kind of mindset in that women are only supposed to be given. Even when the man needs something with support from the girlfriend, the girl isn't supposed to step in unless if they're just borrowing you that money. So they always expect you to be paying back whenever they're giving you something. So I think that all at that particular moment when I'm going to make things official, I always use this entire period of time of us staying together just to get to know you better. How do you always deal with your finances? Are you someone who's going to be stepping in case I have no money to do the things that I'm supposed to do? So I always seek out for a partner who will be willing to support me in case I'm down. Not a person who's going to be so dependent on me. And this always cuts across. There are also men who are so dependent onto the women. Because I also share with you another scenario. There's a time I was at a particular function, and then this woman was like, I have over 35 million in my bank account. I also have some rentals out there, but my husband totally has no idea about it. Remember, in most of our communities, most of the people have not made things official. They're just eloping. So this woman feels like it's not okay for her to disclose all those properties that she has with her husband. Even when the guy is down on paper and then he needs money, the woman will instead tell him that I'll help you secure a loan, but you'll be the one to pay up the things. Then she opts in going on to her bank account. She gets her own money, then borrows it to the husband. So I think you're seeing how people are getting sorry. So I think I would only use that period for me to pretty be sure of the person that I'm going to be with in a relationship. So not until when I'm really sure that you can easily support me and I'm also willing to support you, that's when I can easily disclose all these accounts that I could be having. In case I feel like you're just being a little bit clingy, you feel like I don't trust you. If I told you I have 4 accounts, I want to disclose to you about 2 accounts. Then I'll keep the other 2 to myself until when we make things official. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So for you, you're willing to disclose everything as long as you are official.
Exactly.
Thank you.
What is official? Okay, let's not get off track.
When you're married, yeah.
Okay, I think I just
Sandra.
have a weird point of view when it comes to finances and relationships. Unfortunately, I've not gotten to that fiancé stage where we share toothbrushes. But I feel like at some point, some things should be mysterious. I don't think your partner should know each and everything about you or even your finances. Yeah, let him just see the surprises and all that. In case he needs the support, you give him the support and all that. But I don't think he should really know. Yes, the figures, the exact figures and all that. Maybe an estimate. You know, when you know everything about someone, at times it becomes boring. So it's okay to be mysterious a little bit. Yeah, maybe I have about this and that, but not just don't say the exact figures. But also, at what point in a relationship do you really get to disclose? Now, there is that point when things are really serious. You are visioning things together. You are planning for the future. You have all these serious plans and all that. Okay, sometimes things go bad, but you try your luck and see how things will go by just, building that trust. I know it's very hard to trust. It's very, very, very hard because you're going to even spend over 5 to 10 years with someone, but when you don't fully trust them. So I think it's at that point when you feel like you've built that trust together, you've worked through things together, you've grown together to an extent that, okay, we can even have maybe a joint account.
And how many years after marriage do you think that can happen for you?
My dear, I've seen people married for like 20 years and, they know everything about themselves, all the assets and all that. And someone can even take advantage of that. Yeah. Like someone is there for all those years, but has a plan of divorcing you and take part of the things that you have hardly worked for. Like, you've really done your best to earn all that, and it just goes. I just heard this story about some football player who registered his assets in the mother's names, and when the wife tried to divorce him, he couldn't take anything. She couldn't take anything. So you see, they were in that marriage, but anyway, the guy was smart and was expecting something like that. So I think life is all about risking. Okay, even relationships are all about risking. Yeah, but for me, nah.
Nada. Thank you, Sandra. I love the honesty for everyone. You guys are being brutally honest.
Okay, thank you so
that.
much. So I think in Uganda we have a thing of we have trust issues. We see this growing up. Our parents are always telling us that, you cannot tell a man everything. You have to keep that money. It's like a woman's money. It's supposed to be there. So we grow up with trust issues. And also we go into relationships having goals in relationships. We don't go into relationships because we are so much in love with the person that you're going to tell them everything. Everyone goes into, most of the people that I know go into relationship with different goals. So you find yourself in a relationship because let's say we have a relationship with Regan, but I'm just going there because my friend pushed me there. like we have like different goals in relationships. So it makes us hard to trust. Let's say if you don't ask me, if at all we can lie about our age in relationships, of course we are not going to disclose our finances. If at all I'm earning 300,000
I love.
and I'm dating someone that earns 500,000, of course I'm going to tell you that, yeah, I earn 550 just to feel like the bigger person in the relationship. Or just to feel like I don't want this one, like to be undermined by the partner that I'm dating. I'm going to lie about how much I'm earning. And let's say we are like in courtship, we like each other. Of course, yeah, we trust each other maybe, but still you have that foundation of lies that you started with, and you're going to continue lying about it. You end up getting married to that person. Maybe when you're married, you're disclosing, yes, I earn this and this. For me, I think by like disclosing my accounts, maybe when we have kids, maybe there I can tell you that, yes, yeah, I have kids with you, and now we are stuck. Okay, at least, yeah, we can have a joint account because I know we have kids together. And I know that I trust you and your family members behind. Because most of the time, family members also influence a lot of like these relationships. So maybe the man or the woman trusts you, but the family members don't trust you at all. You're going to have a joint account, and they will poke their nose into that joint account. Let's say you're going to buy land together. You're going to buy land together, and then one partner dies. Maybe you don't want the partner to die, but in case the partner dies,
The man dies usually.
the man dies usually. The man is going to die, and since we live in a patriarchal society, they won't even think that you contributed any amount to the land. They will think that the land belongs to Regan because he's a man. Or maybe you even bought it with your own money, but you're like, okay, my man, yeah, we are married. My man can't earn a lot of money. They will think that the land belongs to him, and they will take everything away from you because you have like those family members that don't think that a woman can own something. So disclosing finances is very hard in a relationship. Maybe when you're married.
These are very good points.
Thank you, Sharita.
These are very good points. And thank you, Maurice and Regan, for being around. Because, you see, she's being polite. She has ended on family members. But you men also. Because chances are, you see, tomorrow you'll wake up and the loving is not the loving. And if we're sharing every kind of detail and maybe buying things and joint, okay, joint account in the names of the kids, yeah, makes sense. You'll wake up, Regan, and you find the car chick. And the car chick, yeah, we are sharing things. You're going to leave me in the air like this, hanging, like, you know, the Red Bull ad. So I think for most of us as women, when we say no, or we've been advised by the grandmothers who have lived and seen before us, that have a side something that he doesn't have to know about. Because almost 90% of the time, when we do this, we are left with nothing. So when you say, I'm investing with my partner, we're talking finances, they know how much I'm getting, they know which land I'm buying, they know, hey, you're going to see problems. You end up with this man leaving you, taking everything. And because society, like she said, everyone is going to assume it's the man. You understand? There are men, even if it's school fees, the man will keep quiet and say, now school fees is yours. You get? And time to leave, he says, I'm going with my children. So I think for women, it's more about you men can change your colors anytime. Yes, women can change, but chances are, very rarely, by the way, unless she came to steal. As women, when the woman is, unless she came for a reason. You get? But if we've said we are investing for our kids, we are buying joint land and what, and I'm going away. It's going to be very hard for me to say I'm taking these things because I've walked away. We are going to have that conversation of who takes what. But the chances of the man saying, I am the man, and you having all his family members saying he's the man, and you losing everything are very high. Whereas the time we had a debate here about if the man leaves you, why should you bring another man in the home? However, if you leave the man, he can bring another woman in the home. And that conversation was about someone's real story where they said she actually built the house. And we are not saying men don't build houses. Oh, that's big. When it comes to women, no. For you as a man, if it's your house and she's leaving, you're going to have a conversation, no? Chances are very high you're not going to allow her to just take. You're going to have a conversation. But chances are you've built a house. Let's say you're in love. The woman has built a house. And the guy decides, I no longer want you. Tomorrow is going to bring another woman in that house. You're going to walk out yourself. Because if you fight, what's wrong with this woman? No one is going to try and listen to. That's why you see me, I keep receipts. I'm sorry. It can be love, but I'll keep the receipts. So if I have about 50 bricks, and it has, I expect you to also get your receipts. So that when we are done, we are all saying, I put this much on this house. Even you say I put this much. That way we can have conversation. The problem with us, and I'm going to say this, for both men and women, we are in a world where things are funny. Keep your receipts. I even tell men these days, if it's the child, even the women, if it's the child, get that receipt for Pampers. You understand? Because it's easy for me to wake up and say I took care of the kids. Or it's easy for you as a man to wake up and say I took care of the kids when you didn't. There's no evidence, there's no proof. You've left me because today we are protecting ourselves. And I'm going to say this to the women. Love your men, it's okay. Share accounts, it's okay.
We are
Can
listening.
you please keep that that corner pocket in the jeans that no one knows about? Have that account or have that account that I'm calling the corner pocket of the jeans.
This is serious.
You get? I think even the men, it's high time. Yes? So that when people are done, you're not fighting about the things you worked for together. You know, okay, now, at this point, this is for the kids. I have my stash here, you have your stash there. Because this is where we've reached. Keep receipts. If you're buying 10 bricks, get a receipt for it. If you're buying Pampers, get a receipt. This is where we've reached because time changes. And I'm not saying, then why are you, someone will say, then why are you marrying the guy? Why are you marrying the chick if you don't trust him? We start off trusting each other. Then the guy wakes up tomorrow, he sees rainbows elsewhere. Me, I am no longer shining. I have invested all the Kalito. Why we call it Centers Edge Cars is quite often, it's now that women have been given opportunity to work. In the past, it is your mother who says, have that. It is that's why we use the term kasinte kachi.
Kazi.
Not because we are saying we don't want. It is now that things are changing. But even now, I'll have the same job as Maurice, and Maurice will get more money than me. Those chances are higher. You understand? So I'm looking out for what happens if Maurice is tired of me. What happens if you're tired of me? You get? You should also think the same. Sorry.
Thank you, Lorena.
Are you ready for mine?
Yes.
Okay, giving the non-Ugandan African perspective, I guess.
I was waiting for that.
Because for us, I guess, especially in relationships, at least the ones that I've experienced, in the States, of my friends, me, everyone, we're very open. We tell everyone everything. I told Olivia one time, in 10 minutes, you're going to know exactly where I'm from, what I do for work, everything when you meet me. Because it's just common for us to ask those questions. So for us, it's kind of oh, you have a job. Now, it's rude if I say, what's your pay, right? I can't ask that in America usually. But you have an idea because we can look it up online. And we can see, oh yeah, the doctor should earn, 110,000 to 130, you have an idea. So it's a different perspective. So when you go into a relationship, you kind of have an idea. Now, you don't always know, maybe they're paying for
You know, like you guys have to pay school fees. We don't pay them, but maybe they're paying for like university for someone. And then you didn't know about that, right? So there's like things that can factor in that you don't really know how much money they actually have in the end, because they might have student loans as well. They might have all these things. But I guess we're just super open. So we just tell each other. And also, if we look at culturally, like back to Americans, they always, the guy used to be the breadwinner. It was just simple, and the women stayed home, right? But of course, that's changed immensely, and women are empowered to make their own income. So therefore, we keep it separate. But typically, when someone gets married, they often have like a joint account. And that joint account goes to things like rent or your house payment or your utilities, you know, food at home, those things, especially kids. But also, I feel like we don't have the fear of, okay, if I have my man up and cheats, let's say we're married, by the way, then I have the law behind me, because I can be like, oh, that means that he has to give me some of his money if we get a divorce, because he's the one who messed up, you know? So we kind of have a different perspective in that way, that we have systems in place. So same thing with kids. Like I was sharing earlier about child support. Like the guy's expected to pay a lot of their income to child support, you know? Depending on if you split time or you don't. But that's how they look at it. So money is very split between genders, I feel like, compared to most places nowadays. So yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, thank you, Jocelyn. I expected that difference in that particular way of handling finances in a relationship. That for us, we're like, kasente kach kazi. And I love how Sharita put it. It's literally taught to us growing up. Our mothers, kasente kach kazi. So we grow up with that. Whether it's not an issue of, is this person trustworthy? It's an issue of, I am supposed to be protected because that's what I know. So all your
again, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Moderator. But again, what are the odds though? What's up? What are the odds here? When we say, oh, we've been brought up that way, okay, fine. But what are the chances of that being right? Like, what are the... You see, some of these things wouldn't be happening if via experience, it's not like that. That's why we say we should, when you hear people sing songs or talk about things about their grandmas, and, you know, there's someone will always say, is there a grandma in the house? They know these things, yeah? So I think, I don't want to call it... I don't want to say that we have trust issues or we're brought up to have trust issues. You know, they say the older, the wiser, you know?
Yeah.
Some of the things, I remember, we have a saying, we have a tale where I come from, where a young prince, felt like the old ways, what the older people were telling him didn't make sense. He's a young man, he's a king, you know? So he had his friends around him who would tell him, you need to put on the skin, the hide of, was it a leopard or a lion? One of those ones, you know, show your might. The older ones were saying, no, that's not how you do it. You know, dry it, let it, you know, then, you know, you cure it, that's when you wear it. But he wanted to show his might. Fresh. He wore it to show that he's king. Guess what happened? Couldn't get it off his skin. Too much pain. Now, the same older people, they were saying, these guys just have their issues. They're old. See, all these old people don't. They now had to come back because it comes from somewhere, experience and knowing, the knowledge. It's not so far ago when I was 20. Right now, I'm like, okay, these young people, you know, because of experiences. Until the elders, the older people said, no, just dig a well, let him soak for a couple of days. And the young people hadn't thought about soaking the guy in like a sort of well of something, a shallow one. Until it started to, on its own, you know, they would pour some oil and he sits in the water. So I don't think we were taught. Because let us be honest, even now, without your parents telling you anything, we have experienced these things. So even in your own space of dating or getting to meet people, you see these things, so you protect yourself. And that's what I'm saying, even the men now, this is where we've reached. It can be the man, it can be the woman. If it means you protect yourself because you're not just protecting yourself, you're protecting your children and your mental health.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Just to add on to what she has just said, I think this cause in of us protecting ourselves, because I will still share this statement that most of the girls do use. At one point, I also encountered a girlfriend who had that kind of a mindset whereby my money is mine and then your money is ours. I think such a statement makes you so vulnerable. This is why we are saying these young men are always stepping onto these young ladies, because they think that these women are so dependent onto them. So they have a rotten kind of mindset, think that I can win any woman that I want just because I do have money. But if at all you've sensitized the young girl pretty well as she's growing up, whereby she's supposed to work for her money, she's also supposed to be contributing something. I think as a man, I think I would never disrespect such a kind of woman who always also becomes a breadwinner into our relationship. Otherwise, if I told you this kind of girl who only thinks that I'm supposed to be providing and for you supposed to be on the receiving end, that's something that brings up infidelity into our relationships, because you've been raised with a kind of mindset that you're supposed to be dependent onto me. And the moment I feel like I've seen someone out there who is much better than you, I will assume that I can easily get over them just because I do have money on me. So I think we need to sensitize ourselves to reserve a mindset whereby we all supposed to give in our contribution. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your
I
sharing.
can easily find something for her today.
Yes, for that. This is really a hot topic. I wish we could continue, but the time is not on our side. But we can continue this after this record of the Kara Junkies. Thank you so much for sparing your time to participate in this talk track hosted by the Kara Junkies and at the Barrow House. Thank you for coming. I hope we get to meet again next Sunday.
But let me tell you why.
Then Olivia.
Let me tell you why. We always
You're welcome.
say your money is ours.